Hey guys, it's Nate. I'm doing the Options Locator February 28th, 2021 newsletter video. Um, last week it started off pretty good, and then, things took a turn with the market. And there's some selling pressure going on, and I thought we were able to navigate things pretty well. So just going to dive right into it. We had last week's newsletter. We had AbbVie. I think that one started out really well. Um, you know, broke out on Monday, this outside day. We were watching it, before it even really broke out. Then it went inside day Tuesday, then back to an outside day through this downward trend line. Really nice move after a triple inside week, so I'm pretty happy with that one. Amazon, this was a big move all week. Broke this upward trend line, got down Monday, filled this gap here, went inside day, and then outside. So once we were watching it here during the day, and then I said, we were looking for it to take out the prior day's low. It did, and then it, really took a turn towards the end of the day. So, and we were able to catch some lotto puts on it on Friday. Costco broke through the bottom part of the broadening formation here, broke through 350, which was a key area, and then just all the way down here to 330. So nice 20-point move here. It's got earnings this week, so a little bit of sell-off going into it. So nice down move there. eBay, another one, broke this trend line here, filled this gap, and just kept falling. So really nice move, all red, so all week. Lilly, still in this range. It's not doing much, but I'm still waiting for it to get over 208. So just keep that one on your radar. I have an alert still set on it, so just watch that one. Might be a good move this week. McDonald's couldn't get going higher, broke out to the downside. Look where it stopped, right at our support there at 206. Pretty big down move there on Friday. So I think they had that news with Beyond Meat, but I think that was already well publicized news ahead of that. Pin, it started out here on Monday, trying to get things going, just couldn't get it going. It's still stuck in this little tight range here, so just a little range bound, not doing much inside day on Friday, so might be a good setup to watch come Monday. Purple, it also, I was looking for a move over 40, couldn't get it, broke this upward trend line, had a big down day on Tuesday here, through the bottom of it. It tested it on Monday, and then went through it on Tuesday. Earnings this week, so non-event there. Redfin wicked out on Monday, triggering the breakout here. Couldn't quite get this 100 magnet. Had earnings this week. I said to get out before it if you're in it. And then big red day on Thursday there. So once it failed to confirm this breakout here, if you're in, that was your time to get out. So just a failed breakout, failed setup. It happens. Sono, that was a really good one. It broke out Monday over our 38 area. I mentioned in the chat that I had the alert set a little bit higher because I was on this wick and not this one. So I know many caught it beforehand. Big outside day on Tuesday. Tested this gap here. Came back through the range. Got my 40 target that I was looking for, and then some. So a really nice move there. I'm pretty happy with that one. UNH, another one that I'm happy with. Broke out on Monday, triggered through this downward trend line, and then nice continuation the rest of the week there. ALGN, not an inside week setup, but part of the other setups. Finished filling this gap here, so we couldn't get the bull flag to go up, so took it down. Just filled that gap. Not a lot there with how expensive that is. Boeing, really nice move. Triggered Monday, and then it held up. Even with all that news over the weekend, and it still triggered. You knew they weren't going to take it down too much. And then I remember calling this out at it was early. It was like 9:35 on Wednesday. I called this out, and it just never stopped. So that was a really nice move. Fubo never got going. Still holding this downward trend line. Went right to it. Never triggered the alert, as you can see. So earnings this week. I'll keep it on watch, but not doing anything with it. And then Western Digital, keeping it on the newsletter again this week. They hit it again pretty hard this week. So still looking for it to get over 71.08, then 72, and then up to 75. So moving on to this week, we've got Crmd. Not a big name, not one that we've really played. We had so many. We didn't have as many inside weeks to choose from this week, so I went searching for some more. I found a few good setups. So I'm liking this one over 16 really. As you can see here, I've got a lot drawn out there. It's holding this upward trend line. Earnings soon. So even if it breaks below this trend line here, I look for some support around 14 and 13. But I still like it over 16 here. And then, up towards 17, 18 plus. So EOLS, another one I, found on my search this week. Held that gap this past week. Went inside week, and now I'm looking for it over 12.29. So good move here. I like how it really, went right to the gap. Tested it on Tuesday after an inside day, and then bounced off of it as the market showed weakness and sold off. So this shows me strength, and I'm liking it. If we can get a close above 12.29, I really like it. Then it would, confirm this wick. So 13, 14, 15 is what I'm looking at here. If it gets under 11, I would possibly think about shortening it again down to 10 and then to the gap. So I really like this setup here. It might be a challenge play, so just keep that on your radar. IQ, we're all familiar with this one. Look at these caps. Filled this gap here, filled this gap, went right back down. So here's earnings. Huge outside day here. Just phenomenal how they did that one there. I like this. It held. Went back to this old support area here at the top of the gap, and then it went right to the older resistance area at the bottom of this gap. So if we can get over 25.64, 25.75, that's what I'm looking at with targets of 27, 28, and 29. If you zoom out here, pretty, this 29.18 area is a pretty good spot, pretty good resistance area. And then you've got, 28, 27.50, 28 is a good spot. So really liking it. Gaps galore. You can ask Mel about this gap here. I know she played that one that day and made some bank. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I really like how it's, if you can almost connect these two trend lines here, and then it's holding up. So I like this play, and it's seeing some bullish flow, so I'm liking it. KHC, we got into this gap. We all know about the gap. That's a big ass gap going all the way up to 48. So it got into, it tested it here, and then here, but then it finally pushed through it after earnings. So Got over 36. 36 must hold for this to confirm itself. So yeah, it pulled back, but I think they're just kind of going with the market there. So, if we get over 37.50 or so, I would look to get back in it and swing it for some longer term play here. I think I put down the April calls. So, like I said, 36 must hold. If it doesn't hold, then we might see a move back down to around 34. So, that's what I'm looking at there. KNX, another one of those names I had to go find. Lost my words. Filled this gap here and then came right back down. Holding out okay. Small broadening formation here. Holding 42.21 or so. I like it over this downward trend line. Give me a push higher up towards the top of this. So 46 or so might be for a target there. So that's what I'm looking at. Kind of in the middle upper part of that formation there. So I like it, to the upside. MD, this is kind of strictly a gap play. I like it. Came down, got down off of earnings, went inside day, and then just nonstop green every day since then. So this would be a gap play for me over 24.89 or confirmed 25. So gaps almost up to 28, so that could be a good challenge play. I mean, get in, it's a 10% gap there. So kind of what I'm looking at there. I would give it some wiggle room, even back down to 23 would be my stop on it. QS, we played this one multiple times last week, even though it was going inside week. The gap's up here at 74.50. Small gap down here. I want it to get back over 62. It's right around 60. Could never really confirm 60. So that's why I put it at 62. So then target 65, 70, 74.50 plus through the gap. If we break 53, I'm looking for this smaller gap to get filled down below. UNP, you've got this downward trend line here. Took the inside day down Friday, but still technically, compound inside day with it. Both these days being inside this bar here, holding this upward trend line. If it breaks, I'd see a quick move down to 200 here. But through this downward trend line, I'm looking for a move up to 220 plus. Verizon, I was really hoping it would break out up here and get this multi-year breakout over 62, but it never happened. It's just pulled back ever since. Gapped up the other day, and now it's filling this gap. So I'm looking for it to complete the gap filled below. Not really looking at too much of a long on it. I just want to see this gap get filled to the short side. Wix, the options weren't great on it, so I didn't put any options on it. So nice breakout through this falling wedge here to get things going ahead of earnings. Huge reaction to the earnings, and so now they're kind of stalling out, profit taking going on, people still buying. So I'm looking for a move over 350, 315. Then my target would be 360, and then the high of this candle is 362.07, and then anything over that is just blue skies. And then on my other setups, I have apps. Saw a lot of action on it on Twitter on Friday. Broke through this trend line, couldn't close over it. But if we can get a move back over 84.25, I'd look to go long with anticipation of it eventually being a 100 magnet soon. So that's what I'm looking at there. CELH, another one that's been decent as far as holding up okay. I'm looking for a move over 61.50. Held that gap, this gap here on Tuesday with that wick. Nice recovery. Small little down trend line here. Yeah, it broke out here, but couldn't confirm it, so I left it intact. So now we're looking, like I said, for this confirmed move over 61.50. IGT has earnings on Tuesday, but what I like about it is, if you look at it on like a monthly basis, it's a nice recovery off last year's lows with the market. And, here's a good area. It's just kind of sideways through here. So I'd like to see a move to 20, 25, and then over this, some people might call this a head and shoulders, over 30. And, this can be a nice long-term swing play here. So I'm not too bothered by it that it has earnings on Tuesday. So I'm just looking for a breakout in either direction. But more or less, I'm looking for a breakout to the upside with 20 plus on my mind. Levi, kind of been stagnant and everything since the IPO a couple years ago. So, finally getting back to where it IPO'd. And here's the current all-time high. So, coming back up. I think, being within striking distance here, we can definitely see a move over 24.50. And this is another one that I like for a longer term swing play with some common stock over 30. Over 30, I mean, you're at that point, you're at what, 20% gains. So I would like to see it, break this small downward trend line, get in, confirm it over 24.50, put your stop there, and just keep raising it as it moves up. So MU, another one I'm liking. I've always liked this one. We caught it back in here. Then here's the June 2000 high, and then the July 2000 high, which is the current all-time high. So we're right there. Another one I'm looking at for 100 magnet outside to inside day over 93.10. I'm a buyer to 94.50 and then 97.50. And then ultimately the 100 magnet. So earnings at the end of the month, next month. So I think we can definitely see a run. Not sure if the chip shortage will have anything or any impact on this one, but I'm liking it. QRVO, inside day, holding this 165 area here. Nice downward trend line. Believe it was an inside month last month. Yep. So a doji month. Didn't really do anything. Flat on the month. Filled this tiny gap here. Couldn't do much else. I'd like to see a move over the downward trend line. Then up to 190 plus. RXT. Gap down on earnings. Filled the small gap in the process. Held it up okay. Small downward trend line. Another one I'm looking at for the challenge. Over this trend line. Up here to 22. Then to the top of the gap here, or the bottom of the gap, 22.68, and then to 24. So, if we get this breakout, fill that gap, we're looking at a 12% move there. And WDC again, like I said, I kind of went over at the beginning of the video in the recap from last week. They bought it hard again last week, over 71.08. I'm a buyer to 72, and then 75. Remember zooming out last week. See right here, 75 area or 76. So I'd like to see a move. There's some resistance support here at the time. Now it becomes resistance. So old support becomes resistance, and old resistance becomes support. So that's what I'm looking at there. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot that I'm going to go through. Pretty good week last week. The Wall Street bets guys are back at it again. So just keep that on your radar and what you're in. So Zoom has earnings, Neo has earnings, Target, Fubo. Some bigger names that we're looking at: Costco, Purple, Michaels, Gap, Big Lots. So a lot of big names this week still. So even though earnings season's coming to a close soon, still some bigger names. So keep that in mind. And yeah, I don't really have a whole lot else. Went through all of these, and some other ones I was looking at that didn't make the cut were Intel, FSR, Oracle, Starbucks, and Twitter. Starbucks had a really nice day on Friday. I know we talked about that a little bit in the chat on Friday afternoon. It's making new highs, so keep that one on your watch. FSR, the 30 calls for this upcoming week on March 5th expiration, those were pretty heavy, so that's something you might want to take a look at. So I hope you guys have a good weekend, rest of your weekend, and I'm looking forward to having a good week with you guys.